your latest news update from Western Mass News.
Good Tuesday afternoon, everyone. I'm Chris Pisano with a look at your headlines. Massachusetts State Police say they have reports of more than 50 car break-ins across Western Mass in the past 3 weeks. Break-ins happening in communities from Huntington all the way to Palmer and Southampton. Western Mass News spoke with State Police Sergeant Corey Mackey. He tells us each car that was broken into was unlocked, and typically the suspects steal credit cards and IDs. State Police tell us the suspects typically leave behind larger items, even if they're valuable, instead focusing on items that they can get away with quickly. In Chicopee, police are warning about scams on Facebook Marketplace. They say they've received an uptick in reports about these scams in the past month. Police tell us scammers are creating fake profiles, posing as people's friends and pretending to sell items as part of a moving sale. Then the fake seller asks the customer to pay half the price in advance before picking up the items they believe they purchased. And as New York struggles with an influx of migrants, the city's now looking to turn standalone school gyms into emergency shelters. Parents at one of the potential schools protesting early this morning. They were notified Sunday that their school's gym would be turned into housing for asylum seekers. It's right next to the schoolyard where children as young as 4 play.
I'm meteorologist Jana Brown with a check of your forecast. We'll keep a breeze tonight, and a cold front will be passing through with some scattered to patchy cloud cover, but it's unlikely we'll see any wet weather. Temperatures turning chilly behind that front will fall back down toward the mid-40s by sunrise on Wednesday morning. Now, we do have a red flag warning that is set to expire at 8 p.m. tonight. We have a fire weather watch up for tomorrow, and it's looking likely that almost all the same locations will see another red flag warning on Wednesday. The difference is the wind, which will gust as high as 30 to 35 miles an hour, so a little bit more intense than today. Plus, it's going to be even drier for Wednesday, much lower humidity. Temperatures, though, will be a lot cooler with highs in the low 60s, and we'll have almost full sunshine. Now, high pressure will start building in for the end of the week. That'll bring lighter breezes for Thursday and for Friday, and temperatures will start to moderate. But we do have a freeze watch up for early Thursday morning for most of Western Mass as temperatures dip down to the low 30s, even some upper 20s. Thursday afternoon, sunshine with a high of 68. We're back to the low 70s on Friday, and showers return for Saturday.
Stay with Western Mass News on air, online, and on our app throughout the day for breaking news, weather, and exclusive content.